We will be discussing the Scopes trial in Dayton, Tennessee in 1925 and how it led up to the teaching of evolution in today's society. The Scopes monkey trial began on July 10th in 1925 in Dayton, Tennessee. Let's talk about what led up to the famous trial about the teaching of evolution. In Tennessee, they passed the Butler Act of 1925. It forbade the teaching of Darwin's theory of evolution at any public school or university. The theory of evolution by natural selection, first formulated to Darwin's book On the Origin of Species in 1859, is the process by which organisms change over time as a result of changes in heritable physical or behavioral traits. Changes that allow an organism to better adapt its environment will help it survive and have more offspring. To fundamentalists, for whom literal interpretation of the Bible was essential to their faith, there is no room for compromise between the story of God's unilateral creation of man and Darwin's theory of evolution. The American Civil Liberties Union led the charge of the evolution supporters. It offered to fund the legal defense of any Tennessee teacher willing to fight the law in court. Another showdown between modernity and the tradition was unfolding. The man who accepted the challenge was John T. Scopes, a science teacher in Dayton, Tennessee. Scopes admitted he used a textbook that supported evolution while serving as a substitute biology teacher. That was enough to get him charged under the new law. On July 10th, 1925, Scopes appeared in a Dayton courtroom to stand trial. He was represented by one of the most famous lawyers of that time, Clarence Darrow. The prosecution was led by William Jennings Bryan. Bryan was a Christian who lobbied for a constitutional amendment banning the teaching of evolution throughout the nation. The trial turned into a media circus. Preachers filled the streets, entrepreneurs sold everything from food, Bibles, and to stuffed monkeys. At the end of the trial, Scopes was found guilty and fined $100, but evolutionists considered this as still a victory for them. This trial put the topic of teaching evolution in public schools back on the radar. In the United States, creationists and evolutionists are engaged in a long-standing battle over the legal status of creation and evolution in the public science classroom. There are very few states today that even mention evolution in classes. Today in society, if you are going to teach evolution in public school, you should have to teach the biblical view as well. Not everyone believes in evolution, not everyone believes in creationism. We as people have our own beliefs, whether you think we derived from monkeys or God is the creator of earth and all things on it. It is up to you what you believe. So in the end, the Scopes monkey trial will always be an effect of how evolution or creationism should be taught or not be taught in a classroom today.